the Nissan Altima, from Datsun roots to its final farewell. Some cars capture headlines with horsepower and supercar vibes. Others, they quietly become legends of daily life. And today's story is about a car that didn't just move people, it moved generations. We're talking about the Nissan Altima, a car that started as a humble Datsun, grew through the Stanza years, transformed into the Altima, experimented with a coupe, and now, finally, is driving into history. This is the story of Nissan's everyday hero, the Altima. Stick around because what started as an underdog commuter car turned into one of the best-selling sedans in America. From Datsun to Stanza, the beginning of an era.
Welcome to For the Love of Cars. This channel is where we celebrate everything on four wheels, from the legendary classics to the budget-friendly daily drivers, and the stories that make them unforgettable. If you love reliability, history, and a good road trip story, this is the right place. Hit that subscribe button and let's take this ride together, all for the love of cars.
The Altima's DNA goes back to the Datsun 510 of the late 60s and early 70s, a boxy little sedan that gave American buyers reliable, affordable transport. By the 80s, that car evolved into the Nissan Stanza, a practical family sedan that competed with the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord. It wasn't flashy, but it built Nissan's reputation as a serious contender in the US market. But here's the problem. The Stanza was, well, boring. It was functional, but it lacked spark. Nissan knew they needed a fresh face, something that could carry the company into the 90s. Enjoying this video? Please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that's when Nissan introduced a name that would stick for decades, Altima. The Stanza Altima, a one-year wonder. In 1992, Nissan debuted the Stanza Altima, a one-year transitional model. Built in Tennessee, it was Nissan's way of saying, we're here for the long haul in America. The car was sleeker than the old Stanza, had more comfort and features, and more importantly, it planted the seed for the Altima brand. It wasn't perfect, but it was the stepping stone. Think of it like the awkward middle school yearbook photo, not quite polished, but essential for what came next, the birth of the Altima. By 1993, Nissan dropped the Stanza name and launched the Altima as its own identity. Compact yet roomy, reliable but with just enough sportiness, the Altima offered something new. It even had that quirky oval logo, car fans call it the marble, which made it instantly recognizable on the road. This first-generation Altima quickly built a following. It wasn't just practical, it had character. It gave buyers a stylish alternative to the more conservative Camry and Accord. And through the 90s, the Altima carved out its space as Nissan's bread and butter sedan. And trust me, this car was just getting warmed up. The golden years, Altima steps up. By the early 2000s, Nissan cranked up the volume. The third-generation Altima, introduced in 2002, was bigger, bolder, and here's the shocker. It came with an optional V6 engine. Suddenly, your everyday family sedan could pump out real horsepower, and that got people talking. Then, in 2007, Nissan took a bold swing with the Altima Coupe. 2 doors, sporty lines, a sleek alternative to the sedan. It didn't sell in huge numbers, but it showed that Nissan was willing to experiment. The coupe gave young buyers a chance to have style and performance without stretching to a Maxima or 350Z. Through these years, the Altima wasn't just a commuter car. It became a serious player, sporty, reliable, and selling like crazy. At its peak, Nissan was moving over 300,000 Altimas a year in the United States. It was everywhere from rental fleets to suburban driveways to college campuses. If you didn't drive one, chances are you knew someone who did. The decline when SUVs took over, but then came the 2010s. The SUV craze took over. Suddenly, everyone wanted higher ride heights, more space, and crossovers like the Nissan Rogue. Sedans across the industry started to fade, and the Altima wasn't spared. Nissan kept updating the Altima, adding all-wheel drive, turbo engines, advanced safety features, but the market had shifted. No matter how stylish or tech-packed it got, buyers were walking straight past sedans and into SUVs. And that's when it became clear the Altima's best days were behind it. The final farewell. Now, in 2026, Nissan is officially retiring the Altima. After more than 30 years, 6 generations, and millions of sales, the sedan that once defined Nissan's American lineup is taking its final bow. For many, the Altima wasn't just a car, it was the car. It was the one you drove to school, to work, to your first date. It carried families, commuters, and first-time buyers for decades. From its Datsun and Stanza roots, to the bold Altima coupe experiment, to the reliable sedans that filled neighborhoods across America, the Altima leaves behind a legacy. So, farewell, Nissan Altima. You may not have been the flashiest ride on the road, but you were faithful, you were reliable, and you were there for the everyday moments that mattered most. And that, more than anything, makes you a legend. Now, I want to hear from you. Did you or your family ever own an Altima? What year? What stories do you remember? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to feature some of your memories in a future video. And if you love stories about the cars we grew up with, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick with me here on For the Love of Cars. Because while the cars may disappear, their stories keep driving on.